it seems like that every time that Nintendo has a big fat W, they always come back with a major L. Because today we are going to be talking about something that honestly just gets me, that just I can't stand that Nintendo does. When they like try and make this whole thing, this whole content creator sphere, so unbelievably complicated for no reason. So, being a content creator on Nintendo, for Nintendo's games, was not always easy. It really wasn't. In 2013 to like 2018, I think, they had this program called the Nintendo Creators Program, where if you weren't in it, Nintendo would copyright claim your videos and take all of your ad revenue for it and pretty much everything for it. And if you were in the program, you had to be as squeaky clean to the Nintendo brand as possible. It was insane. And this, of course, detracted people away from making Nintendo content, because why would they have to give something to Nintendo when they're literally giving them free advertisement? And Nintendo realized how much money they were losing by doing that, so they pulled the plug on it. And then they started doing this thing of giving, and then they just posted guidelines for things for content creators, which is good. I think they've made it abundantly clear what their stance is on it. However, today when I'm recording this, but yesterday when this video goes out, Nintendo updated their guidelines for online video and image sharing platforms. And I want to talk about it because it is insane how much they have modified it and how detrimental this could be to some content creators. So, everything in this article, I've read it, is fairly normal. Nintendo just says basically what they encourage. They tell you can monetize your videos and your channels. They encourage you to put creative input and commentary. They do say that they don't want images that are mere copies of Nintendo's game content without creative input or commentary. I will talk about that in a bit, but they do encourage you to use this Nintendo Switch's capture feature, because if they said you weren't allowed to do that, that would be insane. You are only permitted to use Nintendo content that is generated after the game has been officially released. That is another, that's something that's completely fair, and I think this is the main reason why they're changing their content guidelines so much, because their games get leaked all the time. But so does everyone else's. Everybody else is subject to getting their games leaked online. And, there's always, they don't want you to state that you're affiliated with Nintendo, and they reserve the right to remove any content. So, now that we've kind of gotten over what they kind of said, let's talk about their frequently asked questions. What types of content are acceptable under the guidelines? What types of content are not acceptable? We encourage you to use Nintendo game content in your video and images that feature your creative input and commentary. For example, Let's Play videos and video game reviews are within the scope of the guidelines. However, you may not simply upload or live stream an existing Nintendo video gameplay footage without your own creative or editorial input, or a copy of content created by someone else. For example, mere copies of Nintendo promotional videos, trailers, tournaments, music, gameplay sequences, and art collections, etc., or content that can be considered equivalent are outside the scope of the guidelines. So, this is wild. I want to start off by saying I understand Nintendo wanting to shut down people who just upload their trailers, right? It's readily available on YouTube. That is straight up reused content. YouTube has a whole stance on it. Like, you can't monetize your channel if it's literally just re-uploading someone else's content. Like, they have that in mind, and I get that. But to say that a gameplay footage without creative or editorial input is crazy. That is insane. And a copy of someone else, that's understandable. And the reason why this could be so detrimental to content creators is because there are videos where where it's non-commentary. There's no editing, nothing like that. It's just raw footage of a game. How is that against your guidelines? They are literally showcasing your game, and you're gonna say, oh no, you can't do that. You're not talking or you're not editing in it. So I think that's just super strange and backwards. So that might put no commentary channels at risk, but I don't know. I genuinely hope not, because if they're cutting the videos, does that count? Like, what counts as an editorial input to Nintendo? Is it like editorial where if you zoom in the video slightly, that's an editorial input? Or is it straight up if you upload a video, no edits done whatsoever, just the raw footage of a game, that is against your guidelines? It's so unclear and it makes no sense whatsoever. Now that's basically all I wanted to talk about when it came to this stuff. I read through the article and it's basically just other stuff that you probably already knew you can't do. Like, you can't showcase like games that are clearly pirated. Like, you can't show you can't use Nintendo's content in an inappropriate light or something like that. It's like harmful content basically. So that's kind of stuff that I kind of agree. Like, you probably shouldn't be posting stuff like that on Nintendo's games. But I really just wanted to talk about the first part of this article with the stuff with they're saying like, well, you can't just upload gameplay footage anymore because it's not part of our guidelines. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because I saw this today and I was just blown away by it. But yeah, that's about it. Have a good one.